Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Mountain Valley Community College. This is for CSIT 256, Computer Architecture and Assembly Language. This is Irvine, Chapter 4, Part 3. What should be in this video that won't be in the video is because I already did it as Irvine, Chapter 3, Part 4. In Irvine, Chapter 3, Part 4, I showed the offset, the PTR, the type, the length of commands, and I did that for displaying the last days of the month out of the array that I had. What I did not do in that one was total the last day of the months, which makes no sense anyway. But what I want to do here is I created just a silly little array, 8675309, and what I want to do is come up with the total of the array. Oh, I should let me comment out part 2 stuff. Hold on. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I commented out using a block comment the part 2 stuff that I did. I remember I am going to, after part 3, I will load this into Canvas. But right now, let me work on part 4. No, part 3. The summing of the array. Okay, and I'm going to jump around all over the place for this. So one thing, since we're going to be using ECX for the loop, I need to load ECX with the length of, oh crap, I forgot what I called it, of favorite array. Okay, so load ECX, and I'll say as prepare ECX for looping through the array. Now there were 2 different notations that I did in the chapter 3 part 4 demo, whether I was using ESI as being the offset itself or ESI as being the byte offset. So what I will do for here is let me use ESI as the byte offset into the array. And so let me just say initialize the byte offset into array to 0. Okay. Since I want to do a total, I'm going to need some place to hold the total. I'm going to use EAX, so I'm going to have to clear out EAX. So let me clear out EAX to 0, and let me do this as initialize accumulator to 0. Okay, so this is going to be the top of my loop. And by the way, labels are supposed to be unique in terms of the code, and I know I do have an L1 further up, but since I commented out the code, this should be okay. If you removed all the comments, you actually would get issues that the labels are, or maybe I should, L1, L2. You know what, in case someone doesn't comment the whole thing, let me do L3. All right, so let's do L3, and then down here, I'm going to loop L3, which, remember what that does is ECX minus minus. If ECX is greater than 0, go to L3. Okay. So what do I want to do inside the loop? Well, if I'm using EAX for the total, I want to add into EAX the value from the array. Well, the array is favorite array, and I'm using the ESI as the offset. So I'll say here is add element from array to EAX. So EAX, we're going to be accumulating what the total is. What I need to do is I need to move to the next element in the array. So add ESI type of favorite array. And technically, let's do it this way. Technically adds 4 to ESI. Logically moves to the next element in array. And the reason why it's 4, let's just go back to the definition again, it is a D word. And there's 32 bits, 4 bytes in a D word. Oh, I'm sorry, the dump. Let me do the dump after the loop. I don't know what I was thinking. We'll just do one dump at the end. So at the very end, EAX should have the total of 8675309. And let's just double check before I run this. So 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 7 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. 26 plus 3 is 29. 29 plus 9 is 38. So I'm expecting to see 38 in that final dump. So but remember, it's going to be in hex. Expecting to see 38. Let's see if we get it. So 2, 6. This is the rightmost is 16 to the 0. This is 16 to the 1. So 2 times 16 is 32. Plus 6 is 38. So we have our total. Okay. So it was one of the other things that was in the chapter that was totaling an array. And so I just wanted to do a demo of it. And so I went and I totaled my favorite array. Now, I'm not taking that and sticking it back to memory. So if this was part of a larger program and we needed to do something with that total, we may want to actually then go and then after the loop, take that EAX and then load it to memory. So actually, let me just add as a comment, if we needed to hold on to the total, we could store EAX total to memory. And I didn't do that, but it's something that could have been done. Okay. Let me just talk to 2 things I did not do. One of the things I did not do is the size of. And the size of will give you the number of bytes. Now, for what we were doing here in terms of a loop, we wanted the number of elements, not the number of bytes. And so I'm just not going to do that as a demo because well, let's put it this way. Later in the semester, I'll make a reference to it, and we're not going to need it until then, so don't worry about that one. The last thing, the nested loop. The idea was if we're going to do a loop inside of this loop, we have to preserve ECX and then establish a new one and then restore back what ECX is. And so that is something that we are going to do at some point later. It's just by later we'll see an easier way to do that. We'll use the stack. So since we haven't learned the stack yet, I'm not going to do the push and the pop on the stack for the nested loop. So nested loop is something that was listed as a topic. I'm just not doing a demo on that. Okay, that bird is annoying me like crazy. I'm sorry. Let's